Yo, welcome back to Real Talk. We actually kept our promise and didn't forget to upload. So, yeah.
Well, we don't know.
What's
Shit
up?
could happen. We're making a
Come
preemptive promise as of right this moment.
Yeah.
We could not make it. In
We
which
could
case we're
die. Yeah.
liars.
I could forget to edit tomorrow, and then we'll be late.
We are at a fork in the crossroads. We can establish ourselves as keepers of our word, men of action.
I think we already felt that because I said I was going to do chapters like a week ago, and I haven't done it yet. But I'm
Oh.
gonna get on that. No, I'll keep my promise. I will go through the podcast episode, and I will add chapters, and I will do it slowly. But every single episode will have chapters eventually. So.
Every single episode, you'll slowly notice that there's like 1% more effort put into these podcast episodes.
Our goal, as stated on I think the last episode, we want to put way too much effort into this for no reason at all. So yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have two questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee or tea? That is a great question because I've definitely had way more coffee in my life, but I feel like I definitely prefer tea to coffee, if that makes
Do you
sense.
hate
It's
coffee?
like what?
Do you hate coffee at all or no?
I don't hate coffee. I
Damn
consume it regularly.
Damn
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
I don't hate coffee. I have a very big culinary
I wanted to-
taste.
I wanted to fight you on something. I hate tea and I love coffee. So
I don't hate tea, so we can talk. We can fight me on tea, because I can
No,
defend tea.
I can't because then you like coffee because usually tea drinkers hate coffee. Oh, I see the waves of me bumping my microphone. I'm already doing. I'm on failure, but but yeah, no. I got another question. Do you eat bacon?
Yes,
Do you like your bacon crunchy or soft?
it depends on what I'm putting it in.
Let's just say sandwich and also just by itself.
Okay, so what do I prefer my bacon if it's
Yeah, do you
between
like
the-
it like crunchy or like a little bit softer? Where like, because like you can make
Right.
bacon soft and it's juicy, or you can make it like really crunchy.
Yeah, I know. And I said it depends on what I'm putting it in. And then, so you're giving me the option either by itself and then in a sandwich. What are the ways I like my bacon?
Yeah.
Because I would argue that because damn, now you're getting me into what kind of sandwich are we making?
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, man. This is.
I just want to.
Hit me with another
just
one.
wanna
Hit me
dis-
with another one.
Well,
I
that's
can
not
debate.
something-
I can debate. I mean, the point of debate, you don't have to agree with what you're debating on. You know.
No, I wanted to fight you, and then maybe we could fucking get other people to
Okay.
see
Well,
who's
think of something else.
Well-
Come on, bring up something else.
Shit. Do you? No.
Don't say no. You don't know until you ask.
I can't think of anything.
All right.
Damn it! You the what? We have to edit that out.
I'm sorry.
Damn it! You're already making me do more work.
Let me think here. Shoot. I guess
What's
divisive
something that
questions.
Well, yeah, I need a divisive question to fight you on. This will determine the history of our podcast.
Well, I was definitely gonna go for another thing that you'd have to edit out, so I'm not gonna say that one. Shoot.
Thank you.
What? I'm
Awkward.
trying to think. Man, there is this. Yeah, sorry about that dead air.
All right.
Damn.
Well, okay. Next episode, I'll try to find something.
Yeah, if I'm just really divisive. You know what I did in work a couple days ago? I was
What?
taking my 10-minute paid break because California is awesome for employees, and for my 10-minute paid
Damn.
break, me and my coworkers, one of my coworkers was saying that that Jess, spelled Jess, is a terrible name, and that it should be just a 3-letter name, Jes. And I was of the argument, no, that's a 3-letter name, and that just doesn't look good. Also, if you're
'cause
trying to say like the possessive of Jess, like Jess's cats, when you put the apostrophe S, it's gonna look weird if there's only one S. It looks better when there's two S's.
Also, I think you do that just wouldn't be pronounced because it would be Jess instead of Jess. Because the extra syllable, I think, makes it longer. You stress it out more.
Maybe, yeah, I
Instead of
think
just
so.
having
Yeah, like Jess is
Yeah.
almost like a T, like because it's like
like a
jest.
jest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me think of that. Anyways,
But,
so
but,
I was under
but
the
just
argument
being
that
longer would make it, two S's.
yeah,
That makes
I was
you,
under the impression that three-letter names usually aren't even like actual names. They're usually just shortened forms for real names. And then my coworker was like, "No, that's not true." And they started giving me three-letter name examples, and I just like started naming all those names that were that was shortened for. Because they started off with I think they started off with Ava. I was like, Evangeline. And then she said, well, Amy. And I said,
Never heard of
Amelia. And then she was like, Ross. And I was like, Roswell. And she was like, what the hell? Why do you know so many names? And it's like, I don't know. So we had a fun little game with that.
Oh, that's funny. I had another question. Wait, do
Yeah.
I remember the question? That's the real shit.
Uh-oh.
Fuck. Oh yeah. Have you been playing any games recently? Like, have you made any progress on anything?
Dude, so I have here's a game. What is like this leads into a question that I'll ask and then I'll quickly answer yours. Do you have a game that you just like play that ever like you found it as a kid? Maybe it's a more obscure game. Maybe it's not, or maybe it's a game that just overall doesn't have well reception, but it's like a guilty pleasure for you. Like you enjoy it a lot, but you have trouble recommending it because you know it's kind of niche, or it's just like overall not a good game, but it's like a guilty pleasure. Like you really enjoy it. Because I've been playing a lot recently an old game that I'm gonna say for the most part it's ass, but there's just something about it that it clicks with me. It's a big guilty pleasure. It's called Realm of the Mad God. It's an MMORPG, but it's a 2D top-down bullet hell MMORPG with permadeath elements. If your character dies, that's it. It's dead. That's all your stats on it, all your items and gear, gone.
Do you die in real life?
No, not yet. But, you know,
Not
probably...
yet.
It used to be a Flash game, and then they ported it over to Unity, and now it's a Unity game. And,
well, honestly,
you know...
I don't really know how to answer that question because there's a lot of games that I love playing that have like decent communities, but rave in them don't like. I get okay.
Right.
I actually no. I have a really. Oh, let me turn my volume.
The Realm
down,
of the Mad
actually,
God community also is kind of ass,
Actually,
unfortunately.
I
There's
don't
some
wanna
great
fucking
members of
know.
that community. There's some really, really cool members of that community, but also it's just some of them are just terrible.
Actually, no. I do have a guilty pleasure answer. I guess it's pretty obvious. Nekopara is my guilty pleasure. Yeah, it's a pretty popular franchise, but it's also equally as hated. And I'm telling you.
You're not
well,
fucking serious, are you?
No, I'm genuinely serious. Like I've played
What?
every game. Yeah. Huh?
You have to be bullshitting me. Rocco told me all about your little fucking hijinks you did with him and Nekopara. I know this is bullshit.
No. Okay. Well, Rocco. No, the situation with Kako is that I wanted him to buy the games because I knew he'd be able to fuck with people.
Right.
But I did tell him it was a good game. But I knew he wouldn't like it. But like legitimately speaking, I actually do like the series. Like, there's a reason why I meme about it so much.
What
to
is
be
the
honest
appeal?
with you, okay. So there's welcome to in defense of Nekopara, featuring some guy.
Is this really something we actually want to go into? I don't.
You asked what's a guilty pleasure, and I'm giving you an answer.
Damn it, man! Damn it!
Oh yeah.
I didn't know this was gonna be the answer.
Well, I mean, I don't. It's not like I play any controversial. I play small games that are fairly. They're popular, but they're niche. But like, they're not like oh my god. Like my favorite genre is rhythm games.
You know
like,
what?
They're,
I'm an open-minded individual. I don't know too much about Nekopara.
Oh, yeah.
So I will hear your argument. I will hear your defense. I might not agree.
I will defend this game for a little bit. Okay, so Nekopara, if you don't know, it's I guess a rom-com visual novel. It's it's either you like it or you don't. And I was a part of the camp where, originally speaking, I fucking hated the game. I thought it was cringe as hell. And then I played the games and I was like, oh, so Give a history, because I think the backstory of how I even found this game is pretty important. One day I was going on YouTube, and then someone was talking about Nekopara, and I said, "What the fuck is Nekopara?" So I type it in Google, not Google, YouTube, and I say, "What is this anime bullshit?" And ever since I did that, it's like the VTuber curse, where it never leaves your timeline. It was just stalking me forever. So I saw people play it, and I have a very fond memories of watching like my favorite YouTubers playing the game, and not taking it seriously at all. Um, but essentially, so sorry. So that's how I got introduced to the game, and then I actually ended up playing it myself, and kind of getting way too deep into it for no reason, just because I thought it was funny.
Right.
And it's always been one of those games that like I secretly like hated, but I thought it was really funny. So it used to be my old Discord profile picture was just a Nekopara character to see if anyone would recognize it, which has happened before, and it was pretty funny. But I will say the first game out of all the games, and this is the one that Jimmy did play, it's horrible. There's no light way of saying it. It is pretty bad, and the story is cringe, and the writing is way over the top than it has to be, because it was kind of leading in, hey, we're an eroge. This game is supposed to be kind of lewd, and I mean, personally speaking, I don't like the game. But then they started taking the story a little bit more. It's not like, I wouldn't argue it's like peak fiction, like fucking like a One Piece, but it's like it's a goofy story. It's kind of a feel good story. It's literally just like a romance story. It's nothing too major, and obviously, yeah, the Steam version is very weird, because it does censor like the scenes, and I will say it is censorship to like the age scenes. But the Switch version, which is the version I played, it's not censorship. They actually write over it, so it's kind of like none of that stuff ever really happened. And then they kind of replace those scenes with like more like romance stuff, because it is like a more of a romance game. But I guess that's my history with it, is that I've always thought it was like it's just kind of like just a weird game. And then I watched people on YouTube on stream just play it and just like not take it seriously at all. So I remember last year actually I convinced some friends to play it with me during school at lunch, and just to see their reaction. And I don't know why, but it's always funny to see someone's initial reactions to the series. So I have a lot of good memories just showing people it and just seeing how like their reactions. And I know Jimmy, he even said that he got his money's worth, because he has trolled people with Nekopara before, especially the first game, it being as bad as it is.
Right, his girlfriend's brother.
Yeah.
Yes, he told you that his girlfriend's.
He told me.
We gotta get him on him to explain that, because Rack has a way of explaining the shit that he does to people, and he can't help but like crack up over his own inane bullshit. It's great.
Basically I've actually done the exact same thing. But I kind of have a lot of good memories of me and my friends playing it and not taking it seriously at all, and then kind of just like even recording a mini podcast over it. But also the story itself actually isn't bad. The first game kind of sucks, I will admit. The story is very bland, but overall it starts to become, especially the Switch version, it becomes more of a wholesome story. So it's actually like kind of good. But also another thing is that I really like the artist. She's a very, very well-known artist. I guess, yeah, she's more known for her, I guess, NSFW works, but like she is like very, very well known, and her artwork is good. And even in like the first game, like there's just some scenes with like absolutely like just really beautiful artwork, and also the music, even though it's not like the most like hype thing ever, it actually has a pretty decent soundtrack. I think some of the songs are pretty good, and we've even used a Nekopara song in a Christmas video. I told Rave to add it, and it actually fit pretty well with the scene. But yeah, the music's pretty decent. Also, at least the Switch version, I can't really defend the Steam version. That version's kind of hard to defend. Besides it being easier to play. But the Switch version kind of like gets rid of a lot of like like there's some like lewd kind of like edgy vibes with some of like innuendos and stuff. But other than that, like the Switch version kind of makes it more of a romance story than anything. Of like I guess like I guess like the hallway boys are like pedophile bait, and even I think it's kind of gross. It's not like I'm gonna like, oh, I play Nekopara for the porn. I don't. I don't, and I probably never, and not probably, I never will play it for the porn. not really into that. I wouldn't play a game just to jerk off. I think that's kind of weird. But no, it is more of a just a goofy little story. But also another thing is that it gives me kind of a nostalgia in a way, because I've kept up with the series for a long time. But also it reminds me, and this is also why I defend Konosuba, for even though it's kind of a bad show. It reminds me of like the old anime era, back when people were like pretty cringe and like kind of like goofy, and it just reminds me of that era of anime. That's also kind of why I like it, because I have a little bit sense of nostalgia, because it reminds me of like the old anime era. And see, if people would shut the fuck up and let me explain why I like the games, maybe they would understand that no, I don't play it because it's funny cat sex. I fucking play it because the story is actually kind of good. But even if I am not paying attention to the story, it's just kind of a game that's just like really funny, like to shitpost over. Because I've done it IRL with friends where we kind of just like read some of the weird stuff that happens in the game, and we just like make fun of it for like hours at a time. And I know Jimmy's done that too, and I know there's tons of Let's Plays where people do either they read the story or they kind of just have fun with more of the more kind of cringier scenes. They kind of tend to have more fun, which is kind of why it's pretty popular, because if you're an anime fan and you're kind of into that cringe like romance stuff, you'll probably like it. But if you're not, and it would be pretty funny for shitposts, because there's a lot of shitposts, especially shitpost Let's Plays of Nekopara, since it's pretty notorious. So that's kind of why I like the series. I have a long history with it. For the legitimate stuff, I think the story is actually pretty decent. It's not anything too major. Essentially, the story is that this guy named Cashew is moving out of his parents' house. Except their parents aren't. He doesn't. They don't live with their parents, because it's him and his sister and a bunch of cat girls that they kind of raised over, because like his sister really likes cat girls. It's not even him really. So he moves over. He kind of starts his own. He wants to be a baker and make desserts, but his parents don't really approve of it. But he says, "I'm an adult. I can do whatever the hell I want." And then he just kind of leaves and does his own thing. But his two, I guess definitely are companions later on in the series. Like it's first game they literally become companions with them. But or I guess the cringier way of saying it, in the game they say catpanions. I think it's really cringe when they do say that. But they kind of show up in a box, and then they follow him, and then he's like, I another thing I will defend, I really like the main character. He is very he's either really stupid or he's really mean, and I think it's really funny, because he's just like, get the fuck out of here, go home. For like the majority of the game, at least the first game, he's like, please leave. And then eventually he I guess it is, because it is a cringy anime game, he built a harem kind of over the time, and it is all under his sister's plan. And I will say, there's two characters I despise in that game. It is the sister. She is kind of horny bait. And then there's another character that is literally also just horny bait. And I hate their writing. Legitimately, it's just bad writing. I won't defend it. It's just really cringe. Because essentially, especially in like the not safe for work version, she it's not like he fucks her, no. God forbid, no. But she definitely like they kind of like give a different reason on why she wants to him to hook up with the cat girls, and it's really just cringe. And I don't know if they do it in the Switch version, but I just, every time I see something cringe, I just make fun of it, really. So like, it's a game I love to make fun of, but it's a game that at moments where I can actually appreciate it's pretty semi-decent writing with the story, because the first game is bad, but halfway through it, it kind of takes a tone shift to be more of a more like a little bit serious story, where you kind of get to know the backstory of the characters and how they meet, and then why they wanted to stay with them. And I think it's actually pretty decent. And there's an entire sequel that's literally just backstory. And then there's another game that shows like how the other characters are doing, what is an average day in their life, and it's pretty goofy. That's more of a goofy game. And then the second game is each game focuses on each pair because there's like 6 characters, or 6 cat girls specifically, until the fourth game. But second character, there's this one character that I kind of like, but I hate how they kind of handle her at the same time, because I won't explain it, but yeah, she's kind of cringe. But I actually like her. Her character is more about it's more of a like a self-confidence thing, and then the other one's more of a she's the oldest, even though she's kind of a lolly character, but she's the oldest, and then she's like
Oh.
her dealing with having to deal with the other people. And then the fourth game is about it has one of my least favorite characters, but they actually give her a pretty good writing. She's my least favorite character because she's literally horny bait, but they actually has pretty decent writing with how they handle her. I don't exactly remember her story, but then my second favorite character, her story is her wanting to be a musician and kind of finding her passion to do it. And then I don't know anything about the fourth game, because I did say I played every game, but there was a fourth game that came out, and I have yet to play it, but I do plan on playing it. But yeah, but like there's legitimate reasons why I actually do like the series. I love. I think the story's good. Whenever it has good moments, and then whenever the story's not good, it's a really fun game to make fun of, especially with friends.
I feel
so
like
that's actually why I like it. That is it's a guilty pleasure of mine, but I hope you actually. That is my defense of Nekopara. Will the court let the court decide my fate?
As
Your
I
Honor.
have no control, as I have no control over the jury, I will say as I don't know what I am in this court. I think I'm the constable. As the
You're the
constable of this, as the constable of this court, I will say this argument has. It sounds to me like the games have good to decent writing until they don't, and then
Pretty much.
they have then they have good to decent characters until they don't, and then
There's
you just,
only like two characters that are bad.
Okay.
It's
And
only
then-
two characters that generally
right.
suck.
Right, but then you kind of just throw in things like eroge, or is that how you say it?
Yeah, eroge is a type of genre in Japan. It's a game that also has not safe for work stuff, but usually it's not. Sometimes it's included, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it like Nekopara, sometimes it's optional, or you have to pay for it. So
Like
there
it's
are
not
genres
explicit.
yeah, some of them aren't initially explicit, but some of them are. But it's a game that has loot aspects to it, and they're very popular with visual novels. So that's why you always see a lot of eroge visual novels out there. So it is very much a thing. I don't really touch eroge, but I guess I can see the appeal. I do actually like visual novels, so yeah, some visual novels are eroge.
I think that's one thing. I've just never really gotten into visual novels. I think for me, if I'm gonna, because that's a visual novel is essentially a book that has visual aspects to it. I mean, that's the whole thing. The visual novel.
Yeah,
and some visual novels
it's,
have like interactivity to them too, right? I'm assuming.
like Danganronpa has interactivity.
Oh, so is Danganronpa considered a visual novel?
Yeah,
Okay, I haven't touched Danganronpa.
but
And again, because I'm just not overall my thing. I feel like if I'm gonna read a book, or if I feel like if I'm gonna do a visual novel, it's just too much time. I'd rather be able to pick it up and go. And if I'm gonna I can't really do that with my computer because I'm not usually on my computer a whole lot. I'm doing other stuff.
But another thing with I guess visual novels, but like specifically Nekopara, well, it being an eroge also reminds me of like the really cringe era of anime where there's always like some like weird goofy shit going on in like anime. Like there's a lot of older anime where like the main character like stumbles into a girl and falls on their boobs, or kind of like cringy stuff like that.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that whenever there's like old eroge kind of situation like that. So that's also why I get reminded, because then like I read Soul. I haven't really started, but I have read a little bit of Soul Eater, and it's like regarded as like a really good show in manga. But even there's like moments where like a character will stumble, or like there's literally a scene where he busts into the main villain, and then they're taking a bath, and it's like he's like, oh my god, no way, this is crazy, nosebleed. And it's like, it's cringy. It's cringy, and it happens in Nekopara, but it also gives me nostalgia in a way, because a lot of old anime and manga do that as well, and including visual novels. But yeah, but another thing to defend Nekopara about, I like the presentation. I think it uses Live 2D, which Live 2D is very popular now with VTubing. But I think it uses, if it's not Live 2D, then it's like actual. Then I don't know what the hell they use, but I'm pretty sure it's Live 2D. It's one of, all the characters actually move. Not only do they like say their lines, like their lips move to the lines, but like their characters like constantly move around to what they're saying, and they always have like reactions. They move closer to the screen, farther from the screen, and stuff. Compared to like a game, like I will shit on this, but it is
Mhm.
one of my favorite games, Blue Archive.
Mhm.
That game, it presents a story in a visual novel, but
Right.
it is only PNGs, and the only thing you see with expressions is that they change the PNG, or
Mm.
they move the PNG around a little bit, or they have like the little bubbles of like the side bubbles or
I
whatever.
think I think that's
Um,
another thing with visual novels too. I feel like there's a disconnect between what I feel like the story's trying to have me visualize and then what the images that they're showing are visualizing for me. And I feel like there's just a
I think
disconnect of what I see in my head
yeah.
and then what they're showing on screen. That kind
I
of
th- I
really just
think
confused me of what I'm supposed to be
I think
seeing.
Blue Archive, for it being a pretty bare bones visual novel, I think it handles it pretty well because the story is phenomenal.
Hmm.
And I would recommend you read it even if you're not into visual novels, if you play the game.
Hmm.
I'm trying to convince my friend to fucking read the story. Compared to games like Nekopara and Nikke are pretty similar to where like they're kind of lewd in a way, kind of.
Right.
Not Nikke is not as lewd because it is a mobile game, but Nekopara is fully voice acted, and some, especially in the first game, some of the voice acting is really goofy, like really goofy. But I think they do it
Hmm.
on purpose.
Right.
There's literally a character. There's literally just like a random. There's like a scene where like a fly goes by, and then shit you not, the voice actor goes like twice, and I'm just
The voice
and,
act the
and
fly.
but yeah, to voice act the fly, and I thought that
That's
was funny.
actually that's
But
funny.
but Nikkei also presents a story in a visual novel, but they also do like the like live 2D like dynamic models, except they don't move around as much as Nekopara. But I will defend Nekopara on that. It actually presents a story pretty well. So it's like, yeah, it's a visual novel, but it's kind of like an anime at the same time as well, because
Mhm.
every single time there's always something going on. And if it's a still image, then it's usually either like a really like impactful scene showing showing like high detail artwork, or it kind of takes like a chibi format and it kind of shows like a little bit of like a comic strip kind of deal. But that is my over like 10-minute defense of Nekopara. So
27 minute defense of Nekopara.
of Nekopara. So yeah, that is my defense. I hope you actually found it reasonable, because I know before I started this, you thought I was joking, and a lot of people think I'm joking, or a lot of people think I only play Nekopara for like the stuff that I actually
Well,
personally don't really
in all
like.
fairness, I've only ever heard you and Nekopara like together in the same sentence when Rocco was telling me about how you pranked him with, fucking Nekopara, making him.
I did prank him, but it was not only funny for me, but he got his money worth, and
Oh,
it's
he's
funny
totally
for
got
him
his
now.
money worth. He has a
And
really
it's
good time
definitely
with it.
it's definitely funny for him as well. And he, if
It was
Jimmy,
his Discord banner for a bit. He had his Discord background be the animated Nekopara menu,
no, that
I
was me.
think. Oh, that was you?
Oh, then
I thought
yeah,
that
that
was
was me.
Rocco too. I don't pay
Maybe
attention.
maybe it
I
was.
think
I'm
he
not
did
sure.
it. I think he did it as well. I
He
don't
might
know.
have done it too. But
I think
I also
I think Discord Nitro is a scam. So
oh, for sure. I got a free trial. That's why. But yeah. Sorry,
no, you're all
I'm kind
good.
of stumbling here. I don't know why I'm stumbling on my word.
Stumbling. Do we
Stumbling.
want to talk? Oh, here's a conversation we have. What if we hypothetically created the brainchild and the starting bone structure of an alt some guy, Marshall, and maybe me a cappella. Oh, Beef would probably want to be in there. What if we did just a group a cappella album? Because that's something that alt was very interested in. Because
Sure.
if
I mean,
if those of you
I definitely,
if that's something you want to
legitimately
talk
speaking,
about, I have like various
legitimately,
little tiny things we can just talk about. But that just popped
yeah.
into my head because I heard you say stumbling.
True. That was actually a reference to one
Yeah.
of our videos. That
Yeah,
we made.
I know.
We made a shitty song. No, this is for the audience who don't know.
It's a good,
Yeah.
go check it out on the Hallway YouTube channel.
On the Hallway YouTube channel. Also, just to wrap up my conclusions of Nicopar, just real quick.
Absolutely, you go
me-
off actually, because
okay.
I have to do something real quick.
Me and Jimmy. So Jimmy doesn't like the story, and I get it. And a lot of people I know don't like the story. But another thing that you can appreciate the games for is kind of making fun of it. It is a very fun game to make fun of, or it's a very fun game to make jokes with. And Jimmy definitely is a prime example of he despises the game and the story, but he really likes using it to fuck with people. And I also have that exact same joy of doing that because I did it to Jimmy. So yeah, I actually can enjoy the game for what it is, but even if he can't, it is a very funny game to at least troll people with. If you're gonna do it with the first game because that probably has the worst scenes. Even in the Switch version, it has pretty bad scenes, so you can definitely mess with people. So yeah, it's a good game. Even if you are a hater, you can use it to fuck with people, and that is a sentiment that you can't really do with a lot of other games, because usually if you don't like a game, it's pretty bad and it's not really fun to fuck with people. But Necopar is a really easy game to mess with people with, and seeing reactions to certain scenes, unresponsive, without knowing, is very, very funny. So if you don't like the game and you use it to fuck with people, I'd argue that that's a certain type of value that no really other game can really do, because you don't really see that with a lot of other games. But Necopar, it's pretty well known that you can use it to fuck with people. So yeah, that's kind of my closing statement. So at least even though Jimmy doesn't like the game, at least he likes using it to fuck with people, and I appreciate that. And we're not telling you exactly what he did, because we're gonna save that for soon, for whenever Jimmy comes on the podcast one day.
Absolutely.
But yeah. That is that is my closing argument to this court case.
Woo! Court jury's adjourned until a further decision has been notified. Let us know in the YouTube comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you want. I don't know. All right.
Subscribe, like the video, and comment down below so the algorithm.
Subscribe, and come.
Matt.
You didn't let me finish. There's. Roll that back.
No. It's too late for that. Next topic.
Next time.
Okay. To answer that really long-winded question, that is my guilty pleasure. But what I was actually going to talk about was, has there been any games that you've been playing recently?
Realm of the Mad God. I was playing Realm of the Mad God. That's why I've been playing one of my guilty pleasure games, because I started playing that a long time ago. Because I used to play this old MMORPG game that was also a top-down 2D game called Tibia. Now, that is like one of the first MMORPGs, I guess, out there. It's from a Swedish developer or something like that. I think it's Swedish. I could be wrong. I'm so sorry if I got it wrong. I played it for a little bit because my uncle got me into it, and I thought it was super cool. But then I realized this kind of game just isn't for me. I'm not enjoying it, and so I wanted to look for something a little bit more action-oriented. And so I tried looking up 2D MMORPGs pixel art. And that's the exact thing I put in the search bar, and eventually I found a video from vsauce. Now, vsauce, for a short time, did something called Doing Online Things Now, guys, called dongs. And he would do dong videos where I love dong. Yeah, he would do the dong videos where he would show, like, these cool little things that you could do online. And I kind of fell in a rabbit hole with that. And then one of the dong videos, he showcased of the game Realm of the Mad God, which was at the time a kind of really small little flash indie game that was made for a game jam. And then it started developing more and more and more, and started getting more and more of a player base until it's now what it is today and all that. Hey, sorry about that. Anyways, so yeah, it was a really thank you. I'm so sorry about that dead silence there for like a solid minute. Someone came into my room to talk to somebody.
No, I also messed up my audio at the exact same time.
Oh, no way! Dope. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well,
we're in sync with Scott. Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah. Anyhow, I don't know where I left off. Point is, it was a game that I played for a very long time. I found through Michael on the vsauce channel, and I started playing it. Eventually, Markiplier played it. He played it for a little bit. He played it when it was, like, without a doubt, kind of at a really weird time. I would argue it's better now, and I would also argue... I don't know what to say. It's a weird game. It has development. It has this shoddy thing with like the developers. It's a very small team working on a relatively big project with a lot of players. It's a cool game. I appreciate it. It has some fun stuff. It has some annoying things. But overall, I would say it's worth checking out if that's just sounds like a cool little niche. Aside from Realm of the Mad God, not much else, man. I don't have a whole lot of time to be playing games. Again, I've got like a job promotion at my work. I've been training people. I've been training my new employees who work under me now, which is super weird.
I hope you're gonna become one of those abusive managers.
No, I'm a cool guy. That's what I tell them every day, and they agree with me. Because if they don't,
Please, I'm cool.
Please
like
say,
me.
please, I'm a cool guy. I'm your boss too. But I could be cool. Watch this, and then I do a little jiggy, and then they're like, "Wow, that's so cool, Andreas." And then they
lock
clap
yourself
for
in the
me.
restroom.
Yeah, I lock myself in the restroom and I cry because I'm not prepared for this responsibility. Yeah.
But for me, I've been playing a lot of Toho 7.
What?
Which so you know what Toho is, right?
Oh shoot! Wait, you were explaining this to me. I don't know if you explained this to me in a video or if this was maybe after the fact. You explained.
I think it's like after a podcast.
Was this after the podcast and you were explaining to me rhythm, like a little bit about rhythm games, and I think you went on a side tangent about Toho. Some guy, you go on a lot of tangents.
That sounds like a thing we did. For y'all who don't know, after we record, we don't actually just ignore each other and never talk to each other. We actually we record for like 2 hours and then we spend like a whole other hour just talking sometimes.
Usually, I feel like we should try recording some of those because maybe what we could do is at the end of the podcast we can do and here's a little bit of tidbits and then
we can save that. We can save that for the Patreon.
I don't want them to spend... If they're going to spend Patreon on us, I'd rather tell them go donate to a charity or something. There's so many better things to use their money for.
Give me all your money. No, but yeah, I've been playing... So Toho is a bullet hell series that is very popular.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah, okay, so... It's very popular because I probably have explained this to you, but the creator... It's a doujin game, so it's an indie game. And essentially, the creator is very chill with how you can use his property, as in he really doesn't care unless you do something really bad. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna do anything major, like with money, you just ask him for permission. He'll just be like, "Yeah, that's pretty good." And then yeah. So that
like
means that you can,
Commons.
you can make money from it, and also make your own fan games, music, and literally whatever the hell you want. So that's why it's so popular. But the main games are actually bullet hells, with a couple side games. Some of the side games are except for the very first game is not a bullet hell, and then some of the side games are fighting games, which I think is funny. But yeah, Toho is a very good bullet hell game that I find really fun. I am really bad at it, and I just got into it like last year, but I kind of took a break because I took a break from like a lot of games due to being really busy with marching band. But now I'm done with that stuff, and my free time is slowly coming back to me. So I'm starting to get back into the games that I really wanted to get good at. So I've been playing a lot of Toho 7. I used to play a lot of Toho 6, and then I realized that I'm never going to beat this game. Again, I'm really bad, so I was playing it on normal. But I'm like, I'm never going to be able to play it with 3 continues on normal. And then everyone was like, oh, you should play Toho 7. It's a lot easier. And I said, okay, I'll play Toho 7. I beat it first try with the homing shot. So now I'm trying to beat it without the homing shot, and I'm kind of struggling, but I'm getting pretty far without homing shot. So hopefully I can get good enough to where I can go back to Toho 6, beat that game, and then go to Toho 8. And then maybe once I get really deep into the series, I'll come back to the games that I really like, so mainly probably Toho 6 and 7. Learn it on hard, maybe go for a 1 credit clear, which is being the game without losing all your lives and no continues. And then maybe one day I get good enough at the game to where I can play Lunatic, and then maybe one day I can do a Lunatic 1 CC, 1 credit clear. But yeah, they're very fun games. I'm enjoying Perfect Cherry Blossom, Toho 7, a lot. Yeah, it's a very fun game, and I have a lot of... I hold the game really dear to my heart because it is the very first game I live streamed was Toho 6. So it is very important to, I guess, some guy history because it was the very first game. Essentially, I tried to stream Spelunky 2, but it wouldn't work, so I said, you know what, I'm going to play Toho. So that's the first official game I've ever played was Toho. Because Spelunky kept lagging, and yeah.
I was going to say, I just thought of another thing I've recently... Me and Rocco and his girlfriend have recently been playing a lot of Tabletop Simulator. Because we've been playing board games that we want to play, like Buttons.
Taught me Root. At like
which is
12
pretty fun.
a.m. I would love.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can. I think he said tomorrow we can play. Maybe I'd love to
That
play
would
with
be
y'all.
cool. If I have time tomorrow,
Yeah.
it depends, but yeah, that sounds really
Uh,
fun.
If we can all meet up one day, I would love to play with y'all, and hopefully it wouldn't be too late. Although I'm very busy next week, so maybe we'll wait on that. But I'd
Yeah.
love to actually play my first real game of Root, because y'all did teach me, but I had stuff to do the next day, and I was very tired, so yeah, I had to leave early. But yeah, but yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we've all been getting into tabletop, but we're gonna save that actually for another episode.
Yeah,
So stay
Root
tuned.
is
That's
more
I
of a
get.
board
That's
game. It's
our.
not so much of a tabletop RPG, although they do have one for Root, I guess. But yeah.
But yeah, we'll save all that for next time. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Toast 7, but also I've been playing a lot of I try to get into Tetris, but then I kind of realized that I'd rather play rhythm games, so I'm starting to get back into rhythm games, and I've been playing a lot of gacha games recently, like a lot more than I usually
is
do.
arguably like a rhythm game, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
No?
Tetris.
Okay.
No. Actually, I went to the arcade, except it was too busy, so I left. Yeah, but I've been playing a lot of gacha games, and I recently got into. So me and my best friend, we play gacha games together. Specifically, we play Blue Archive and Nikkei together. So I was playing a lot of Blue Archive and Nikkei. I just finished the half anniversary event for Nikkei, and the story was very good. It was a very, very good story. And then Blue Archive, they had an event story, and it's already almost over, but I really enjoyed that story as well. And I got all the banner characters, but I've been playing a lot of I recently me and him, we got into a new gacha game. It's Honkai Star Rail. If you don't know what Honkai Star Rail is, it's kind of like a JRPG, but you might recognize the name because of a Honkai Impact the Third. But also the same guys who made Genshin Impact. And boy, I have a bone to pick with Genshin Impact. I am not. I respect hold on 1 second.
No problem. Hey guys, it's me, Andreas. Have you ever wondered, man, I sure wish I could talk to some guy, or man, I sure wish I could talk to Andreas, or maybe, man, I sure wish I could mute Andreas on every single social media platform. Well, joke's on you, I don't have any. But you know what I do have? Discord. If you join the Hallway Discord, you can join the Hallway server and talk to some guy, and you can also mute me, so you don't have to talk to me. Discord.
Sorry about that. Yeah, join the Hallway Discord. My mom wanted me to call her phone because she lost it.
Dude.
It's really. She does this a lot. Sometimes she forgets her phone, but it's like right next to her, and I'm like, bruh.
Dude, I misplace my car keys all the time, and I can never find
Wow.
them. And it's usually because I put them in my own pocket, and I
Put like
forgot
a-
that I
put an
put them in
AirTag.
my pocket.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, I have a bone to pick with Genshin Impact. I hate how they do gacha. I think it's very predatory.
What is
Other-
gacha?
Ooh,
Because whenever I hear
gambling.
gacha,
it's gambling. It's gambling.
That's what gambling is? Okay. So it's
No,
exactly what I thought it was.
Oh yeah, so the origins of gacha. So you know how like you pull up to a Walmart and you see like you see those machines where you put a quarter in and you get like a random toy.
Yeah. That's gacha?
No, but you know what that is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Can you not hear me? I said yeah. Yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
So in Japan they have those, except they look different, except they're called gachapon. So you know, to answer your question, I was lying to you. Yes, it is gacha. But so gachapon machines, you put in money and then you get a little toy. So games, what they do is that gacha games are a lot of gacha games are completely different from each other and play absolutely different from each other. But the only thing that unifies them is that they use a gacha system. So you get premium currency, just either from grinding or paying if you want, God forbid. And then you use the premium currency to pull for a character or roll for a character. So you spend the premium currency. There's usually like a banner like featuring like a special character.
Yep.
So you pray that you get them, and then you either do a 1 pull or 10 pull, usually 10 pull. And then usually if you get the character, your dopamine receptor is like, let's fucking go, I got the new character. Otherwise you cry or you spend money and you get addicted. But yeah, it's just you pull for characters. Usually they're from banners, and then you get a character from them, and then you can use them in your game. So that's kind of how you get characters in gacha games. Some system you might be saying, "Wow, that's literally gambling," and to that I say, "Yes, it is." The United States thought it was, so they legally required every single gacha game to show their rates. So you cannot. And that was due to a case for EA, I believe, where they did the loot boxes, which is actually more predatory. But yeah, you're if you're gonna have any gacha or loot box system, you have to show the rates in America. So some systems are very, very, very chill. Like Battle Cats, almost every like so often they have like a banner to where it has every single uber rare, which is like the highest rarity. Well, actually that's not true, but like yeah, it is the highest rarity without the super secret ones. And a lot of the banners have 100% guarantee chance. So that game, it's really easy to get premium currency on. So you can literally be free to play and get really far into it. You do not have to spend money at all in that game. And then you got systems like Genshin Impact where they're very predatory. So sometimes in games, if you don't pull a character, they feel bad for you. So then they'll give you the character anyways. Mainly to keep you from not dropping the game. It's some games it's called a pity system. But sometimes you'll get a pity, and then they'll give you the character. Some games handle gacha, like, again, really predatory, like Genshin Impact, but some games are really chill. Like, I think Battle Cats has the best gacha mechanics I've ever played, but the games I play, I tend to play games with good gacha as well. I don't like playing games with predatory gacha. Like, Fate Go is another example of a really bad gacha, where the game itself might be good, but the systems are super predatory, and they want you to spend as much money as possible just to get the character you want, and it's not even guaranteed. You can spend hundreds of dollars and not get the character you want. But Blue Archive, that game, it's really easy to get premium currency, and they give it out like very regularly. After every update, they give out premium currency. Every event, they give out premium currency. If you keep up with the social media and then you pre-register for events, they give you premium currency. It's really easy to get premium currency. The rates are very fair. Sometimes they're even higher. There's one time where the rates were 6% for every Uber, which is for a game with not Uber, they're 3 stars in that game. But for a game that doesn't have that many 3-star characters, it was very easy to get 3 stars in that game during that banner. But and then after 200 pulls, which is not that much because you usually do 10 pulls, they would give you if you pull for 200 times, you get a ticket. Or you get points, and then you can spend those points to choose the character from the banner you want. It doesn't matter what banner you pull. So it doesn't have a pity system, and instead it has a limit. And if you reach a certain amount, you literally get to pick the character that you wanted. So I think that's you pick the banner character you wanted. So I think it's a very fair system. And Nikkei is also a very good system, and also Honkai Star Rail has the same system where they you pull with premium currency, or you pull with tickets, or if you have a mixture of tickets and premium currency, you can use all your tickets and then pay the rest with a premium currency. So it's even easier to pull.
So once you get these characters, though, what's the appeal to keep playing, though? Because with Genshin, I'm assuming it's more than just getting the characters. You get to play with those characters. So
yeah, you get to play. Yeah. Well, there's new characters all the time.
So it's just a matter of, oh shoot, well I don't want to play this character anymore. Oh, I wonder how this character is, and so.
Well, no, not kind of. Some games, yeah, but some games are like Blue Archive. It's like, oh, this character adds this mechanic to, like, there's 2 characters in Blue Archive that do this thing where their ability is to target, where it sets all your units to target one enemy. And that's a completely new mechanic, and they added in 2 new characters. So they added that, and there's some characters where they can move your units around, where they attract your units and they move them. And there's some characters that do really good AoE damage. There's some characters that do real good single target damage. It's like you get characters, and then you use those characters for the game, and then you can create different teams, because usually there's like systems in the gacha game. Usually, like, gacha games have like Blue Archive. There's 3 armor types and 3 field types. So playing so there's urban warfare, field warfare, and indoor warfare, and then there's the 3 armor types being and the armor types only apply to enemy unless you're doing PvP, where it's, they have light armor, heavy armor, or mystic armor. So then the counters to those armor would be explosive ammo for light armor, heavy ammo for, I don't know what the heavy ammo is called. I did call it heavy ammo for the heavy armor. And then you got mystic units to pierce mystic armor. There is another armor type, but literally nothing uses it, so it just kind of exists.
I see.
So each character has a different combination of weapon that they use. So some characters are snipers, some characters are SMGs, some characters are shotguns. Each character has its own ability. Each character has a different combination of what armor type do they use, are they good against, what field type are they good with, and then each character has different abilities, different passive abilities. Each character on their EX skill, which is their ability that you use in that game, has different animation from every character. Each character, if you do their story, their relationship story, they have a special live 2D intro for your lobby. So the characters do a lot of, like, one character does a lot of things and fills specific roles, but then there's a lot of other characters that also do different roles, and essentially you want to build teams to just be able to play the game. And Blue Archive does it all really well, because there's a raid boss mode where you constantly need certain types of characters to fight the bosses as effectively as possible. And then there's also a game mode where you send 3 squads to do drill. So like a kind of like an exercise, either crowd control or single target, or go through, or I think there's one called Breakthrough, where it's like normal enemies except they have different buffs. So then you want to get characters to do those events, because if you don't have enough characters, well, you can't do it, or you can't do it efficiently. And they give out free characters all the time.
Okay,
I mean,
so
also there's
so
like each character does something different in each gacha game. Like Nikkei, every time you get a new character, you they have a different. It's either they have a different gun type. They look different. They have different voice acting. Usually they're in the story. There's always an event that goes on with those characters, and then also each character has a different ability, and they each do a different role. So it really just depends on the game you have. Like sometimes
so
a
gacha game is not the entirety of a gacha game. A gacha game
it's just
is
how you get
defined
characters.
because the gacha system is what you use to get your primary
Characters.
resources for characters or resources for the game that you're playing.
No, just characters, really.
Okay.
Some games are different. Some games, like Genshin Impact, that's how you get weapons, and that's how you get, like, artifacts. The game that Jimmy plays, the gacha does not pull for characters at all. Instead, it pulls for support units, support, like, things, and then items, and then, like, armor. The weird, like, Eroge series that he plays. And Battle Cats, you pull for characters. Each character has a different role. Some characters are way better than other, but each gacha game plays completely different from each other, and the only thing that unifies them is the fact that you pull for characters. That is the only thing that unifies them, is that you spend currency to get stuff randomly. And usually there's ways to control the RNG or like that. Again, some games are very fair about it, like Blue Archive. Nikkei is pretty good, except I have horrible luck at Nikkei, so I can't really say much, except for my friend I play. He has amazing luck in that game, but I have horrible luck in Nikkei, so I never get shit. But Blue Archive, I get a lot of characters. Yeah. But essentially, each character, the characters don't only define the game. There's also a bunch of other stuff to define the game. But yeah, if you're getting one character doesn't mean that, oh, what's the point? Because like, there's always going to be new characters, and they're always going to do something different. Unless if they don't, but that's a bad gacha game if they don't do anything different. But it's also a bad gacha game that if each new character that comes out makes another character bad, makes another character obsolete, then that's also a bad gacha game. Like Dragon Ball Legends. I will shit on that game forever. That game is not only pay to win, because each new character always renders every other new meta obsolete. So to stay, because it's a PvP only game, so to stay with the meta, you have to get the new character, and you have to spend money to be able to keep up with it, because you're not going to always be lucky, and their rates are pretty bad, I'm pretty sure. This is what, I don't play Legends, but this is literally what every single one of my friends who played Legends tells me, is that it's pay to win, bad rates, each character renders the old character obsolete, so it's just a constant that. There was a Kingdom Hearts gacha game that was very popular, but then same issue, each new character rendered the entire other characters obsolete, so you would have to constantly pull, spend money just to even like enjoy the game. So yeah, they can be predatory, but some of them aren't, and not all of them are just pure like predatory, especially Blue Archive. I like how they handle it. They try to make you not pull as often as possible, as you can get a lot of good characters from not pulling. Not only do they give you free pulls, like very often they give you a free like 10 pull, but they also just, there's a lot of like some of the game modes give you currency, and you can spend that currency to get fragments of characters, and then once you get enough fragments, you can summon a character for free. So some games are very good at very chill about it, but some games are not. But I've been playing a lot of gacha games, and I been trying out Honkai Star Rail. Actually, I'm having a pretty good time. I think the game's pretty good. Although I haven't played in like a day, but I just started like 2 days ago. So yeah.
Nice.
And I haven't really been. I kind of missed a whole day of playing it, but yeah.
What else is going on? I guess, and because I can't gaming wise, not much, but like anything else. I mean, today I was up in an area advertising my job, kind of at this this kind of cool festival thing, and it was really, the weather was really bad. So
Well, speaking of festival,
shit.
me and my band participated at a wind festival. So for like wind ensembles,
shit.
and this is the first time we've ever done that.
Popcorn. It's a Some Guy music update.
Yeah. My mom went to it. It was actually, it's really funny because it was at a college campus. My sister didn't go to it, unfortunately, but it was at her campus. She didn't know exactly where it was, and I don't think she had enough time to go anyway. She was probably busy.
That sounds
with
like
work
an
or-
excuse for her not to go to your
Well, she
recital.
asked about it. She wanted to go, but she was really bad that she couldn't.
That's just to sell it. That's just to make sure you weren't asking questions and look too deep in.
Fuck off. Yeah, no, she actually hates me. No. My mom went. One of my friends who graduated and they're in college now. He went because he goes to that school. He didn't actually watch us perform because he didn't want to. By the time he went there, the door was already closed, so he literally just watched like the monitor of us playing, and then he just heard us through the door.
Damn.
Because he didn't want to bust in because he thought he would get in trouble, so he just kind of stood outside and listened like through the walls.
Should have been a true homie and just broke through that door. Like, you don't understand. I'm here for this man.
Yeah, but we had fun. We did pretty good. I don't know if they had like a ranking system, but a week before that, I had a jazz festival, and
Nice.
we won that completely.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, we weren't like the top of the top, like obviously not, because we were fighting against like way bigger schools than us. But we beat a lot of the bigger schools. Every school on our level and below, we completely destroyed them. And then every
Nice.
school, and then the schools above us, we beat some of them, a pretty decent amount of them. So yeah, we did really
Nice.
good at our jazz festival. And then the next week, which is why I'm busy, I have my very last band concert and my last jazz festival. So
Shoot. And then
Yeah.
from then on, it's just some guy doing
finals.
yeah, some guy doing finals. Damn.
Then I graduate, and then I go to
Whee!
college. Wow. no
Yippee!
way. People forget how young I am, and even I forget how young I am
I
sometimes.
forget how old I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to college soon. So yeah.
Nice. I thought,
Because
you were
everyone
gonna
in the
tell, I
hallway-
thought you were gonna tell your age on the podcast. I was like, what?
No, I mean I've said my age before. I don't really care. I stopped. I used to care because I didn't want to like them know, like because again I didn't want everyone to know everything. But now I'm like, oh, I'm a senior in high school. I'm literally about to be in college, so I don't care anymore.
Mhm.
So everyone in the hallways in college, either is their first year or they've been in college for a little bit. I don't know about the ANCO members like y'all. So
Yeah.
I don't really know about that. I don't know if you're I don't know if you're in school or not, but
Right.
yeah,
You won't know. I won't tell.
exactly.
Refuse.
It's a secret to
I'm
mystery.
I'm an enigma.
These are a ligma, yeah.
I do that
I'm-
from time. I'm known to do that from time to time.
Yeah. Hopefully I won't be as busy when I go to college because I know all the hallway members surely have, except for Rave. Rave has been busy, but he's also been active, and so that means that Alton Crick are a bitch. You heard it here, folks.
I think
bitches.
I think maybe they're doing a bit more of an intense college thing, probably more than anything else.
Probably. Yeah.
and
No,
alts-
I like fucking with them.
I don't think I've ever talked to Crick ever. I've definitely talked
Yeah.
to Alt on occasions.
So the reason why Crick isn't active is because he has a roommate, except he doesn't know the guy, right? So he wants to move out to where he doesn't have to deal with that. So then he'll be more active.
I see. He can be himself
And-
and not have to worry about his roommate being like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what the fuck?"
And
you
I
saying?"
know what Alta's doing, and she's doing way too much work. And I'm like, wow, why are you doing this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Also
want to
sh-
wrap it up?
Do
Or,
we want to wrap it up? It's is this gonna be the short episode? Is the episode that we had no intentions of being any length gonna be the shorter one than the one that we said was gonna be the short episode?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't. I
Yeah,
don't really have.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
yeah.
got.
I mean,
I
we
don't
don't.
got
Yeah.
much. Shoot.
So, you want to do the thing? You want to do your stuff?
Yeah. If you let me give me my stuff. Hey guys, since this is gonna be a shorter episode, let's just go over a quick little recap. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz at the end of this test. Now, remember when we talked about fuck? We're just end it here. You guys
Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
keep it real.